Paintball nerd. Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 2006. In 2008, he started competing, and he turned pro in 2015 with the Polar Bears. He's also played with PP Arena, and for the past 5 years, since 2019, he's been playing with the Russian Legion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Jason Burns.
Hi, guys.
Dude, happy to have you. How's the weather out there in Moscow?
It's snowing, cold. It was minus 16 this morning, Celsius, so cold.
Dude, that video you sent me the other day on the road was just like,
Oh,
man.
yeah. It was out of nowhere too. It was actually a pretty decent morning, and then mid-afternoon it just started dumping snow. So,
What's a decent morning look like in Mother Russia?
well, actually, the reason why it's colder right now is because there's no cloud cover. So it was actually really sunny and pretty today. Early morning, because we're up north, we're pretty far north. Morning time, especially in summer, it's early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're seeing the sun come up. So, but in the winter, it's dark until, well, deep winter, it's dark until probably like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
So.
So, I mean, you're from Utah, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was actually I lived in Germany for a long time. Both my parents are military. Hahn Air Force Base is where they were stationed, and then they got stationed in Hill Air Force Base, Utah. So lived a long time in Utah.
But so you were born in Germany.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Gotcha.
I've got all that in Germany. We lived in Wiesbaden and Hahn mostly. We traveled to Ramstein. We were there. We were actually in Ramstein when that famous air show crash was.
Mm,
There was a pretty bad air show crash in Ramstein when I was there. So
what happened?
there was I can't remember what country it was, but they were doing their tricks, and actually two jets collided and fell into the crowd and everything, and everybody was running around. It's actually you can YouTube it and everything. It's all on YouTube, but it
Oh,
was pretty devastating.
yeah.
So.
So you moved to Russia in 2015?
I actually moved to Russia. I believe I started going back and forth from about the beginning of 2014. That's how I met my wife. She was a paintball player as well, five-time champion in the women's division for Russia national team. She played on the Valkyries as well. So we had something in common, and it worked out. We started going back and forth. She actually came to Utah first, and then I came to Russia because everybody was very afraid, like, oh, you're going to run into bears in Moscow. And of course, there's not bears drinking vodka, playing the
What?
balalaika. So if you go outside into the forest, I mean, you could probably run into them. So
Oh, okay. Probably drinking vodka too, right?
yeah, yeah.
Is that a stereotype, Jason, or they love vodka there in Russia?
Uh, funny story. It is definitely a stereotype. So when I came here, one of the first times I came here, my wife introduced me to her team, some of her teammates from the Valkyries, and we decided to go bowling in Moscow City. So just a heads up, Moscow, the one that you see on the news all the time, or in any YouTube video, that's actually the Kremlin. It's like the old city. They have a Moscow City, which looks like New York, big
Ah,
twisty skyscrapers, everything. Well, we went bowling at a bowling alley in Affy Park, or Affy Mall is what it's called. And yeah, I thought I was going to be the cool guy, and I ordered a big thing of vodka and offered it to everybody, and they all said no. We drink rum and whiskey, and yeah, so I was the vodka drunk American playing
nice.
bowling with a bunch of Russians. So
How many languages do you speak?
I speak English, obviously, but I wouldn't say that I fluently speak Russian for sure. It's constant learning. I understand way more than I can speak. It's just because of the transition of like conjugation. Conjugation is really difficult, especially when you come from like America or England, conjugating another language. I speak some Spanish, some German, but mostly it's going to be English, and I would say that I know more Russian than I know German. So,
Well,
uh,
when you say Moscow and when you say Russia, you say it like a Russian.
oh, do I?
So yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
I
good.
was thinking you might speak Russian.
Yeah, they actually some of the guys on the squad, like Malloy and Sergey, they actually say there's a lot of times that when I'm around, they say that I'm more Russian than American now. I mean, I've been here for 10 years, so it's a long time. But a lot of my friends and everything, it's just I don't know, it's just a way of life, I guess.
Mm.
You just adapt to it, and it becomes you, kind of.
What do you? So, are you a full-time paintball guy in Russia, or what else do you do? Do you do?
No, no, I actually work a normal job. I actually teach English to kids as well. So I have classes of all different age kids. So from like the youngest, I have kindergarten kids that are like 4 or 5 years old. And at that time, I wouldn't say it's really teaching them English. It's more playing with them and speaking so they can hear it. But
Yeah.
I go all the way up to you know 13, 14-year-old kids. So teaching them English. It's pretty fun. It's like giving back, and it's actually one of the things. I haven't gone to school for like learning Russian.
Mm.
My son lives here with me, and we basically threw him to the sharks. We just kind of said, learn Russian. And so he
I'm
went to
sure you
school and he speaks Russian fluently, but I never had the opportunity to go to school and learn it correctly. So I've pretty much learned everything from friends. Had some good experiences, but I've also been tricked a few times to saying things that I shouldn't say
did.
and embarrassing myself. So
And
I guess
does your
that's
wife
just
speak
what.
Russian?
Yes, yes, yeah. She's full on, full Russian, speaks Russian all the time, yells at me in Russian.
So your family has conversations, and sometimes you're like, "Wait, what did they say? What did they just say about me?"
Sometimes, yeah, especially when they speak a little too quickly or they use words that I don't know yet. So, and I mean, or when they conjugate quickly, then I'm like, I get lost in the conversation. So, yeah, sometimes that happens. And they could totally be talking crap on me and I wouldn't know.
Jason, you know what I just watched last night?
What's
Uh,
that?
I forgot the name of it, but it's about Tetris
Okay.
and how. Did you know that Tetris was invented by a Russian dude?
I
And
did not know that.
so you got to watch this documentary. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
I think it might be just called Tetris. But Tetris is
Okay.
actually the thing that helped uh, break the Berlin Wall and end communism. Go
What?
figure. Go figure. So, so this Russian guy invented it, and a bunch of American companies like Nintendo wanted Tetris for the Game Boy,
Hmm.
and Russia wouldn't sell it because this communist guy was in charge, and he was trying to get like a special deal and like get a
Hmm.
bribe from Nintendo. And they ended up doing what was best for Russia, which is accept a deal that made sense for Russia. And they're like, this is
Hmm.
going to end communism if you bring capitalists to this country and you pay, you know, uh, pay them money and accept their money for Tetris, then that's going to end communism. And it did.
That's crazy. A video game. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I never knew that about Tetris, but
I had no idea either.
yeah, man, check it out. Check out the documentary.
I will. It's on Netflix, you said, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I could. Yeah. Pretty sure. Might be Amazon or one of like I have so many streaming things. I'm just like I'm not sure where it came from, but look up Tetris documentary. It's worth a
Will
watch.
do. Will
Yeah.
do.
Um. So what would you do if you lived in Utah? Like, what do you think you'd do for a living?
Um, well, Utah's a really like outdoor state, so I'd probably end up being either like part-time snowboard teacher or something like this. Because I mean I love snowboarding. We actually have a family trip every year. We go to a different city called Chernihiv. It's pretty deep in the middle of Russia, and we snowboard every year. So, and it's just a blast.
Mm.
I just enjoy the fact that I'm in the forest and I can make a fire outside. Sit, and I mean, it's snowing, but it's just awesome. So, I really love snowboarding. And Utah is where I started. I started skiing, snowboarding there. So, I think I would end up doing something like that for like at least the athletic part of my life.
What do you prefer, skis or snowboard?
Snowboard for sure, for sure. I think that skiing is I wouldn't say easier for sure. I would say it's probably better for your hips and your knees. I mean, okay, both of them are pretty bad eventually for your knees and your hips, but I think just because of the way you're strapped in the snowboard, it's easier on your body to ski.
Hmm.
So,
So how did you get on Russian Legion? Walk me
um,
through that journey.
so I actually the first time I tried out, I didn't make it. They took Volva.
What year
Um,
was that?
uh, that was in 2018. So
Okay.
I tried out, and it's when, yeah, it was me and Volva trying out for the team. Everybody has to try out, even again and again every year. So there's a like Russian Legion has this really serious program. Um, so tried out, didn't make the team, and then I connected with some of the players like Leo, Golev, Malloy, and we ended up going to South America altogether. We went to South America in the end of 2018, and we went to Argentina and Panama. And it was a very extravagant trip. We were stuck in airports for long periods of time. When I say long periods, I'm saying like 14 hours in Argentinian airport just to go to Panama. That's actually when we connected with Eddie, which is currently on the team. Him and his father were in charge of all the master classes in Panama. So we went and met Panama Papa and Eddie and connected with them. And then I was just speaking with Golev. Golev was speaking with Coach, and then they ended up picking me up. Then immediately after that, we actually had practices that we went to Colombia. We went to Colombia, and that's where we obviously met Diego and his brother. Um, and once Andreas, once we met them, we had practice with them. That's when Mike Waring was playing with us as well. We went down there, practiced with them, and then it was from there. It was just we. That's how it went. So it was pretty. It was pretty crazy. It was like I guess it was the right place at the right time. I would say. So
Well, I mean, I want to hear about the program because I played back when I was playing. I played with one of the original members of the Russian Legion X Ball squad, which is Miko
mm-hmm,
Hutinen. At the
mm-hmm,
time, he was known as Mike O. And he
mm-hmm.
said that the Russian Legion would put you up in an apartment and you'd play paintball every single day. Like wake up, just paintball, paintball, paintball every single day, 5 days a week. So is this still like that? Tell me about this strict program.
It's not well. It's not that strict anymore. um, but it is. We practice at least no less than 3 times a week, and each practice is about 3 to 4 hours. And then if it's a weekend practice like a scrimmage, we call it sparring. Then they
Mm.
can go about 5 6 hours, depending on how many teams. But yeah, every single week we're practicing. And currently, right? Oh my light just died. Is the light still okay?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay,
I,
cool.
I saw like a little
So
flash.
yeah, so yeah, it's still practice, but during the winter we practice with reball in a reball hall. Well, it's actually a indoor football field, a soccer
Hmm.
field. Sorry. So we reball during the winter, and then in the summer we obviously are on field the whole time. So, but yeah, no less than 3 times a week, and there's a lot of things like if you're late, you get in trouble. If you miss it, you get in trouble. And they don't care if you're sick. If I just actually missed a practice because I woke up, I slept on the wrong side of the bed or something, just ruined my neck. So, but you still get your lashings, I guess you would say.
What's a
So,
lashing? What is that? What does a lashing look like?
usually they will, uh, they pay, like coach will pay more attention to you, and find out every single detail that you're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't beat you or anything, but he makes sure to make you know that you have done something wrong the next time you're at practice. So elbows
That's a big deal.
out, not snapping like correctly, the smallest thing. So anything. So
Yeah, that's not so bad, right? It's not like they take away
No, no,
your vodka rations.
no, no. Yeah, you get to keep those. You get to keep those for sure. So,
That's cool. How's it feel to get hit by a reball?
it's not fun. It's not. It's definitely not fun. I mean, the speed is lower. So because if you shoot the normal 300 feet per second, the reball decides to go all over crazy directions. But
Gotcha.
yeah, we're usually shooting at 270. But it's still not fun. I think it's worse than a normal paintball, even at 270. Especially if you get hit in the knuckles or in like the neck, it's not fun. So
Yeah, because there's no like liquid dispersion, right? And
yeah,
it
it's like
breaks, bounces off.
I mean, even in like physics, they say that a rubber bullet can do more damage than a normal like full metal jacket because of the way that
Hmm.
it impacts and absorbs into your body. So
Yeah.
it's not fun.
Unless the real bullet hits you in the face.
Yep.
You
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a game over.
So Jason, man, I mean, I'm sure you got a lot of crazy stories. Playing in Europe a
Uh,
lot, you know, playing in Russia a lot. What do you got for me? Share something good. Put
um,
someone on blast.
well, I mean, so I loved back in the day when I played with all my friends in Utah. We would drive. So like, obviously, my favorite event ever in the U.S. was Huntington Beach. We played
Oh
seven
yeah.
man in Huntington Beach, and we would we would bring like 10, 11 guys, and we'd pack five in each car or six, and not somebody would be screwed with a seatbelt. And we would drive, and of course we're young, so we're trying to save money. We put 11, 12 guys in one hotel room. Of course, like two guys go in and then let everybody in through the side door and stuff like this. You know, Vegas trips, back in the Riviera days, like those were wild. But I have to say that one of my favorite events here in Europe was Bitburg, especially when it was the Nations Cup. It was so much fun just to see all the nations, and it got pretty big. I mean, there was an event where even Turkey had a team, a female and a male team. So it was definitely a way different vibe than the U.S. because it was. In the US, it seems more like everybody wants to go, watch, and leave. But in the Millennium series, everybody was like there the whole time, walking around. Even after the games, there was people playing beer pong. Especially, there was a team that was infamous called Asala, and their whole goal was to get every single passerby drunk. They would make huge things of jungle juice and just be handing it out. And yeah, it was they were so much fun just to have all the nations there and to see everybody from all over the world. So that's one thing that I think World Cup is starting to do. You know, like the girl teams are coming over from Europe, which
Yeah.
is I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be great when we involve like the worldwide aspect.
And
But
like there's also more hanging out, like the Hormesis party got everyone it
yeah,
felt like
yeah,
old school, you know, like everyone was hanging out talking paintball and
hmm
that's like those are the best memories, you know, and
yeah.
all the homies are hanging out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Another cool thing that I really like is paintball extravaganza. When I was working with ProShar, I actually had the opportunity to go to a few of the paintball extravaganzas and see like all the behind the scenes and see like the people that are making and distributing and selling what we play with on the field. So that was
Yeah.
another really cool aspect that I actually got a chance to do and see, and run around with Lasoya when these gel blasters first even were invented. They weren't even out at the fields, and me and LaSawyer just shooting each other in the extravaganza area. That was really cool. So we got to test it before anybody else. So I like that aspect of
Are you going to are you gonna go to the summit this year?
it. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Actually, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm going to be available because I
Are you playing
have.
Vegas?
Huh?
You're playing
Yeah,
Vegas, right?
yeah. I will be going to Vegas. Yeah. So.
Man, it's just one more day, you know, just bump out that plane ticket.
I know. Well, that's not my decision.
Oh,
I'm just told where to go and when to do it. So,
right
and
on.
then plus like we will have like of course we always go a little bit early to have all the practices. We have some personal practices, then we'll have obviously the practices with other pro teams, and then during the week we have the personal practices again, and then we play. So, well, we'll have the practice at the NXL event area on the Thursday usually. So,
Who's your favorite
but
teammate?
my favorite teammate, I'm gonna have to say Malloy. Like he's hilarious. Like he's always trolling you. Like if you say like anything, he can troll you with it. He's just a funny guy, and you never. And sometimes when he's trolling you, you don't know is he being serious or what? You know. So
Hard to tell when
he's like,
with the Russians, right?
huh?
It's like it's hard to tell with the Russians because they're kind of like straight faced, and it's hard to tell if they're joking.
So, some yes, and some no. Like, I mean, if you look at Sergey, like Solnoshkov, you can tell if he's pissed or not.
Mm.
Um, Leo is easy to tell if he's happy or mad. Uh, but like Malloy he's like a fox. I mean, he's always trolling. It's hilarious. I mean, I don't know, like I can't even give you an example because it's literally everything. If you say anything, he can troll you with it.
Yeah, one of
So,
those like super witty guys that has a
yeah,
comment for everything.
yeah, and I mean, and it's throughout his whole life. I mean, look at him on the field too. He's always witty. He's always knowing how to do crazy stuff at the last second. So, yeah, he'd have to be my favorite teammate for sure.
Okay, so how about non teammate? Who's someone that that coming up through the ranks that you always wanted to watch or emulate?
Um, so current player or like any player?
Give me both. Give me both. So someone not playing
Okay.
and someone still plays.
So someone not playing now. Well, actually, he still plays a couple of events
Just
here
gonna
and
say,
there. But Lasoya.
oh, Lasoya. Okay.
I like, yeah, he plays like ICPL and stuff like that. But yeah, Lasoya, just because he was like he like encompasses all of what paintball is. You know, it's like if you go back to like skateboarding, Jamie Thomas was like encompassed everything about skateboarding, and you know, Lasoya encompasses everything about paintball. You know, fun, dramatic, crazy sometimes, good player, friendly, like just everything. So he was like the package for paintball.
Yeah,
Um,
he's like our first rock star. Like he's our
yeah, yeah,
paintball's first like real like celebrity. You know.
yeah, exactly, for sure, 100%. Current players right now. Well, I will give you a couple because I actually really enjoy Alex Frazier. I really enjoy Nick Sloviak as well. And the reason isn't, I mean, they're great on the field, but mostly the reason is how much they want to do for the sport. Like they're
Mm.
always looking for different ways to help people out, always commenting, always keeping things going, keeping things moving, um, trying to make it the sport more like special for everyone. So yeah, I really like those guys a lot. Obviously that's Oliver as well because they're Frazier and Oliver working together. So but those two guys for sure.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Alex is quickly becoming, in my eyes, like kind of like the godfather of
Yeah,
paintball. Like he just helps. He's so helpful. He's so selfless. Like he just wants to
yeah,
boost everyone. And he watches everything. Like he
yeah.
watches all the content. Like he puts thoughtful comments and it's like people. I don't think people realize like how busy he is and how much effort it actually
Hmm.
takes to watch everyone's stuff and put thoughtful comments in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And then
And
if you see him at the events too, he's walking around talking to
yeah,
everybody. I mean, with even with a camera in his hand, it's like he does everything. So yeah, he's
he
really
makes
great.
you feel like I never get the feeling with Alex like he's rushing me off. Like he doesn't have time for me,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
It's
He always makes time. Like,
always makes time. And Nick too. Like Nick is like one of those
mhm.
guys. It's like Especially like when I'm, going around events with a camera, it's like sometimes people, and I get it, don't want a camera in their face, but Nick is always down to contribute. Like
Hmm.
he's always down to make content and like make paintball better, dude. You
Yeah.
picked two good ones there.
Yeah, I really enjoy those guys for sure.
You know,
So,
we were talking about Lasoya. You mentioned him a little bit earlier, and it's funny because like you can talk to someone from literally every era of paintball. Like when there was no
mhm.
such thing as hyperball, when there's no such thing as woods, talk to players from that era and ask them who Chris Lasoya is.
Yeah.
Then you go to like, hyperball, and it's like hyperball used to be the thing. Talk to
Hmm.
people that played in that era, and they're going to say Chris Lasoya was the best. And then airball came out, and then X-ball came out, and all these iterations of paintball, and Chris Lasoya has managed to make a gigantic impact in every iteration of our sport. Like, dude,
Yeah.
he's one of the greatest. He's one of the
He's a big
greatest.
deal.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. Yeah, for sure. I hope he listened to this.
I hope he does too. That's too. I know, and I know he's going to give me crap for it later too. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Because he's not. I mean, of course he could play like the ego guy, but at the same time, he's really humble. Like he's humble about a lot of stuff. So
Yeah. What do you have anything cool to show us?
yeah. So I actually have more back in Utah, but I do have this medal. It's because I play with another team called KTM. KTM Paintball. It's owned by the Princess of Malaysia. Um, me, Fedorov, Mishka Knazev, Harrison Fry, Vasya Pentelev, um, and yeah. But we actually have gone a couple times, but we went to the first one was in Langkawi that we went to, Langkawi, Malaysia, and then we also went to Thailand, and it was the first time I ever been to Langkawi. I've never been there before, but we went there, and it was just a mind blowing trip. I've never seen like someone that has never met you in real life takes like just open the doors of the world like the same as Faz Lin. That's her name. Um, but yeah, so we ended up winning, and we got this medal, and it's cool because it's the first medal that's not metal. It's glass. So,
Yeah.
so um,
That's
they told me that it's crystal, but I don't know if it's really crystal. I don't even know how to test that, but I just thought it was really cool. And it's a pals event, so that was another thing that I was really exciting about because I played a lot of different, WCPPL, NPPL, PSP, NXL, Millennium Series, and then another type of event, which was pals. So it was really well done. It was played in a hangar, aircraft hangar, which was crazy because it was so big inside. I mean, the only downfall was like there was a lot of echo from the balls hitting the bunkers and stuff like that. So communication was a little bit hard. But we got to go on. She got us all motorcycle like Vespas. We were driving around everywhere in Vespas in Langkawi. Um, we went to see crocodiles in the river. We went into a bat cave. I actually almost got in a fight with a monkey because,
What?
well, they tell you not to touch the monkeys.
Don't
And
touch them.
when somebody tells you don't touch the monkeys or don't touch something, you gotta,
Yeah.
But it's just the older monkeys. The little ones, they don't care. Actually, I have a picture of me and the princess petting a baby one. But I tried to help one monkey out, and of course, Harrison Fry
What,
and
what,
Mishka were
what do you
kind
mean
of.
you helped it out? What do you mean help it
I
out?
was trying to help him open a orange juice bottle. And he had a glass bottle that had a little bit of orange juice in it, and Harrison was like kind of egging me on, and Mishka was egging me on, and I was like, "Oh, let me help you out." And he just got so angry with me and tried to get me. So, but and they actually in Langkawi, one of our teammates was carrying a brightly colored towel, like beach towel, and they came from the trees screaming and stealing his towel. So there's actually signs that are posted in a lot of different languages that say no plastic bags, don't have your phones out, put your sunglasses away and no bright colors. Well, we obviously didn't read that sign, and he got mugged for his beach towel.
Dude, it's like going in the wrong neighborhood with the wrong colors. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't do
yeah.
Dude, Joe Barrett has a story from Langkawi, him and Arturo crashing scooters. Have you heard that?
Yeah, yeah. There's been a couple of them. I know that one of the guys from Breakout Spa crashed, and he actually crashed the day. I think it was the day before the event, so he couldn't even play the event. He broke his clavicle, and yeah, he was just hanging out in bed the whole time.
Oh man, sorry,
So
I'm laughing. It's just funny.
actually, when we went to Thailand, we did the same thing. And Stas Polyakov, he scraped his leg because he whiskey throttled the the Vespa and went flying and bouncing off of walls and stuff. So
So how's your scooter record? Are you accident free?
oh, I'm accident free. I'm up. I'm good.
That might mean that you're due. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's what they say. You know, riding bullet bikes and street bikes and everything. They say it's not have you fallen, it's when you're gonna fall. So
Are there many two-wheeled vehicles in Russia?
yes, yes, there are a lot of people that drive bullet bikes and stuff like this. And one of the sayings is translated to "bones for soup," is what they call it. And it's basically because they drive like maniacs, and actually everyone in Russia drives a little bit crazy. So there's a lot of accidents. One of the first times I was in Russia, actually, where there was a really bad BMW versus a taxi accident where the taxi flipped in the air, and then ambulances came and everything like that. So it was nuts. Because there are some fast roads that go between in the city, especially at night, because everybody's racing their Mercedes or Lambos or bullet bikes. So,
Dude, I remember I saw one of your stories and it was like something true about people who drive S classes or some kind of Mercedes is no matter what country they're in C class, they're an asshole.
Yeah, yeah, because they think they own the road, and it's a C class. I mean, it's like, come on, guys, like,
come on, guy. Yeah.
oh, and it's even, another thing. I actually posted another one about the people that go when you're turning left. You're waiting at the light, and you're turning left, and there's dude that drives his C class to the very front and cuts in. I hate these type of people. It's just like patience is better. Like, just be patient.
Virtue. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the saying in Russian that means bones for soup? Do you know it?
No, I don't know the exact way to say it, and I don't want to slaughter it.
But like it's a thing though. Like when you see a guy like zoom by on a bike, you're like, oh,
yeah, bones for soup. Yeah, yeah. That's they basically all people, whether they're driving or not, if they're on a motorcycle, it's bones for soup, basically. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say so much for like the people that drive choppers. One of my old coaches, actually, one of the ex-Russian Legion coaches as well, Sam. He's part of a like a biker club, and he drives a big chopper. He's always safe. So I think it's just the street bikes, the enduros, these types of things.
It seems like it'd be hard to get a Harley Davidson into Russia. Maybe no.
Well, now I think it is, but before you see Harleys, you see Ford Raptors and stuff, so they're definitely imported. And I mean, I've even seen like a '68 Mustang, and it was like dust silver, and it was nice. So they have them here. I think it's just harder now how things are going. So
yeah. Did you watch the Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin?
Yes, I did. 100%. Yes.
I haven't watched it. Give me a takeaway.
Basically, well, Tucker, they got along, so that was good. They got along. There was no like animosity. They even laughed a couple times. But the basic takeaway is that the United States administration is extorting all of the United States people's tax money, and that's why they're continuing this. I mean, and like I said, just like Tucker said, the best thing is to listen. you don't have to agree with what Putin's saying. But what Putin was saying is like there's no chance, zero chance that Russia wants to invade anywhere, and why they keep fear mongering that Russia wants to do this is ridiculous. So, and I mean, maybe he's telling the truth, maybe he's not, but he seems sincere. He seems sincere with Tucker, and I mean, if he's such a powerful guy, he has no reason to lie. If he wants to take over something, he just says, "I'm going to take it over."
Yeah, but and also like what reasons, what legitimate reasons would he have to invade anything too? It's like that has to be looked at too, you know.
Yeah. And you know,
The
one of the actually funny jokes in it was well, it wasn't really a joke, but it was the part where they both laughed. Was when Tucker Carlson asked the question, "Who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline?" And Putin said, "Well, you." But then he said, "Well, not you," but and you know they laughed a little bit. So obviously the Putin side is in Russian, but they do translate. The best place to look it up is definitely on Tucker Carlson's website. I wouldn't do the YouTube because I mean, if it's on YouTube, it's probably recorded. If it's not on his, people can change stuff. So,
man, it's
but yeah,
crazy
I
how
would watch it
much
for sure.
like in the United States, and I don't want this interview to get like blocked or whatever on YouTube, but there's a lot of disinformation
Yeah.
that 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 America gets, and it's disguised as legitimate information. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, you know, in China they know that the news is propaganda. And here it's like
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like all the major news companies are saying the same thing. They're all owned by the same people, but we haven't for the
Mm-hmm.
majority of Americans haven't figured out that it is actually propaganda,
Yeah.
you know? It's nuts, man. How do we get
And you
talking
know,
about
and what I can say from being yeah, I know what I can say from being American living here for 10 years now is I have never had a problem. I mean, I've been stopped at the borders, like coming in, but only to check documents. And of course, all my documents are always right. Like I have a thing called BNG, which is basically a citizen. I don't have a normal passport, but when I do get the normal passport, I mean, I don't want to have to vote or anything like that, but I pay taxes. So it's like, you know, now I've always had legal stuff in and out, no problem. I've been stopped by the police and stuff, and they stop you because if you look suspicious. I mean, and it was definitely a big bearded guy. I got a hood on, and they stopped, and then they found out that I was American, and they actually, in the end, we actually took a selfie together with the police.
That's awesome.
So it's like, you know, and I've been pulled over in my car, but I have the proper documentation and no problem. So that's all it is like if anybody says they have a problem, like Brittany Garner or whatever, they had a problem because they broke the rules. That's all. So,
Where on earth would you live if money was no object, you know, you could do whatever you wanted? Where would you decide to live?
um, okay. So realistically, I would probably want to move like to Oslo or somewhere in the fjords in like Norway, just because that's the type of person which is actually really conflicting with my wife because she wants beaches and sun, and I like winter. I like forests and mountains. So, but yeah, I like somewhere mountains and forests for sure. Obviously, Utah is the same. So, but if I could really be like deep in it, it would just be like in the fjords or something like that. Now, unrealistically, I would move to Antarctica just because it's like cool,
It's
some
inhabitable.
different, or Iceland, yeah, or Iceland, something that looks like a different world.
You know, you and your wife could be happy with Northern California where there is beaches next to forests.
Yeah, yeah. Big Bear is also up there, and
Big
Mammoth.
Bear's nice. Mammoth is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Jason, what advice would you give to young Jason in 2006 when you started playing paintball? If you could go back in time and give yourself some advice about going pro, what would it be?
Well, I think that's a difficult one because at the same time I was snowboarding a lot. Like I was skipping school. Sorry, mom. I know you don't know about that yet, but yeah, skipping school. I think I had like 27 absences in my junior and senior year. Snowboarding. So that would be a tough one. But if I had to, I would say that make sure you get to your local field and find people that enjoy the sport as much as you do, because that's what happened to me. I like the normal friends that I had just stopped playing it. And when I went to the local field and just started talking and opening up to people, I immediately got friends and immediately started playing. So that's local fields and find people that love it as much as you.
How do we get on Russian Legion if we want to do that?
Um, well, it's a process. So currently, like, okay, obviously we picked up JRAB, but I mean, his career kind of speaks for himself. I mean, he's already played with Russian Legion, and the second thing is his career is pretty amazing. Now, if you're a player that hasn't been pro, um, and wants to become part of the Russian Legion, it's mostly try to get the master classes, get recognized by the players. Currently, some of us are in Florida right now doing some classes and stuff like that on Wednesdays. But that's how to do it. And yeah, we had some divisional teams before, and now we're making another one. That's why they're in Florida right now, is try to create a locally divisional team, because it is harder to have a divisional team that is from different states. So they're trying to just build everything in Florida. But yeah, that would be the first steps: get the master classes, get online training, and just show yourself. And then obviously try out for one of the divisional teams to grow up into the team. So I mean, that's how McDarby and Tyler got involved. Is they were always going to the United States practices, and they got picked up. So
You guys, are you guys gonna make J-Rab go out to Russia for some practices, or he can just practice at home?
um, I think he should have to. He's been here before, but I think he should have to, because it would be cool to have another guy come out this way.
Yeah.
So I mean, nobody else has. Mike played, he didn't come. Harrison was on for a little bit, he didn't come. So, and I think that J-Rev would understand how everything works, anyways, because he's been here before.
Like, how does it? You guys have players all over, right?
Well, no, no, we have. So we used to have Volvo, which was in St. Petersburg, but that's only an hour flight or a 4-hour bullet train. But now the core, so me, Malloy, Sergey, Kirill, Danya, or the Tiger King, as he's been called, and Pasha are all based in Moscow. Then in the US, we have Jake, Tyler, and J-Rab. So did I miss anybody? I said Kirill, yeah, Kirill.
That's 10. Oh, you missed Kirill.
Yeah. And then we have, and then in the we have the Colombian guys, the cartel guys. We call them the cartel, and that's Diego and Eddie. So, and Andreas, unfortunately, he's just become really busy with his business. So we have the cartel guys as well. So yeah, America, Russia, and Colombia. So I guess it is all
And you
over the
guys have
place.
11 or 12?
11 of us.
11. So
Yeah,
when you guys have
actually
a
12.
team practice, it is 12?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
When you
including
guys
me, I
have
was
a
in complete.
Oh, that's right. So, like, for team practices, like, do you guys how does it work? Do you fly everyone to Russia, or, like, how does it?
So we have like the core guys obviously are always practicing together here. Well, currently Pasha's in the US, but the rest of us are always practicing here. And then that's why we actually try to come 2 weeks earlier. Now it's a little bit more difficult because they moved the layout week one less week. So, but usually we would go 2 weeks earlier, either practice somewhere in the United States. We have practiced in Colombia before, but that's when we all come together. And like Mike Waring flew to Colombia as well. We all practice, and then we go to the United States. Um, we try to practice like close to the events usually. We've had a lot of practice up in New York with NYX, where we are all there and everybody just comes to one place, and then we go to the event. So we try to get everybody together because it is difficult, especially like obviously the Americans are not going to get visas right now. Well, I mean, you can. It's just a longer process. I
Mhm.
would probably say it's probably like 8 months, maybe a year to get a visa now. Um, and the Colombians, I don't think they need. I don't know if they need or not. If they need visas to come here, I don't know how. the visa for them works. So technically, if they don't need a visa, then they can come for sure.
Hmm.
But
Sounds complicated. Either way, like to
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's
Uh,
getting visas and stuff is definitely a pain. I mean, being American, it's pretty easy. The only visa I need is here in China. And I have been to China. We went to Guangzhou. Me, Mishka, and Fedorov were in Guangzhou, China, and that was pretty cool. But the visa was like quick. You land and you do like an e visa, and then you're in. But
yeah.
Russian visa, so there is a really good company in the United States called GoToRussia.com, and they've done all mine. They did my parents when they came. Granted, my father wasn't allowed to come the first time because of the military stuff, but they all eventually came over. But yeah, I just think it's just a little bit longer to get visas now.
Yeah. Jason, what are you most thankful for that paintball's given you?
Um, I would have to say the day by day adventure. Every single day, no matter if you're on the field or selling paint or something, you always have something new. There's never like, of course, there's the times where everything seems monotonous, but even during those times, there's something either crazy, either good, or maybe something bad. But every day, there's always something. So it's not a 9 to 5, you know, it's nice.
Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. I've always kind of just watched you from afar on social media.
Mhm.
So it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
You as well. You as well. It's great. It's great to finally be face to face and talk. So,
Anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
um, yeah, just everybody look out. RL's coming. So, oh, and also one more shout out to I have a bunch of friends in Germany right now. Shout out to Marcus from Uffenheim Paintball and all the Legacy Crew guys for sure. They're going to be they're not a new team. They just have a new name. So, but
Cool.
they're coming this year. So, shout out to them.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. You have a good one, man.